going on, y'all? It's Jen, and if you're tired of not being able to score, if you're tired of getting clamped, and if you're tired of not being able to go 12-0 because you can't score, you're on the right video right now. Now, a lot of y'all from my Twitch have been requesting this video for some time now, and if you don't already know, if you don't already follow my Twitch, make sure you check that out. The link will be in the description. But anywho, this is basically going to be a quick dribble tutorial. I'm going to start with the basics as well as go into some of the more advanced stuff, such as different effective combos, ways to crab, and different ways to get open, such as like peekaboo and quick stopping. All that good stuff will be in this. So as you can see, the game mode isn't MyTeam, but I'm going to be telling you guys how to dribble with every single size up. The way you dribble changes depending on what size up you have, since you have different animations for the size up or different players that you use. So right now, Hito and Glenn have Pro 1, Porter Jr. has Pro 2, Chris Paul has Pro 3, dwade and Kiki have Pro 4, Reggie Theus has Pro 5, and then Tony Parker has Pro 6. So basically, I'm going to tell you guys effective ways to move and dribble with every single size up and every single player. And like there are different animations basically. So the first move you want to do or know how to do is the regular hesitation standing still. So you want to hold R2 and then flick your right stick. If the ball's in your right hand and you want to switch hands, you flick to the opposite ball hand, so flick to the left. Now the ball's in your left hand. If you want a hesitation to the ball hand side, then you want to flick it to the left when it's in your left. And then crossover again. And it's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward. I'm not going to spend too much time in the basics since they're pretty easy to learn. Just refer to the hand cam if you're a little confused, if you don't know how to do any of the moves that I mentioned in this video. Just refer to the hand cam as a guideline. Now the next move is going to be the speed boost with crossover, the standing crossover speed boost. So basically you flick to the opposite ball hand. This one you have to flick to the opposite ball hand. It's not going to work well if you don't. And then you can go between the legs too. Basically you just flick your right stick without holding R2. You flick your right stick to the opposite ball hand, and then once you want to speed boost out of it, that's when you start holding R2 and move out of it. You can do this going between the legs as well. All you have to do is flick down diagonal to the opposite ball hand. Now this is the main move you want to do with Pro 2. As you can see right now, Porter Jr. has Pro 2. So this is the main move you want to do with Pro 2 and any other player that has signature size of Pro 2. As you can see, the hesitation changes since Hito Turkle has Pro 1, but Porter Jr. has Pro 2. The main difference with Pro 1 and Pro 2 is like the crossover hesitation is the same, but the hesitation going to like your ball hand is not the same. As you can see, that was a hesitation right there. But as I said, the main thing you guys want to do with Pro 2 is a standing crossover speed boost or the moving between the legs speed boost. That's the main way you want to maneuver around screens. As you can see, it's different with Hito Turkle because he has Pro 1, like I said. And then this is the next move you want to do. So as you're sprinting, you want to let go of R2 and then flick the right stick up, and then you can hold down R2 again and start running again. But the main thing with this move is that right when you want to do it or right before you do it, you let go of R2 and then flick the right stick up. As you can see right here, holding R2, flick the right stick up. After I let go of it, let go of R2, flick the right stick up. It's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward. Just go to shoot around. Now the next move is going to be the same thing as the moving hesitation. This time you're going to be holding R2, but you'll flick the right stick up and you'll get that hesitation right there where you can quickly move out of and speed boost out of. Now you only get that animation if you have a certain moving hesitation. You need either Pro 1, Pro 2, or Pro 3, which is what Hito Turkle has. That's why you can speed boost out of it. If you don't have it, you're going to get a long dragged out animation for your moving hesitation. So just be mindful of that. There's a handful of players that have the moving hesitation 1, 2, or 3, so you can speed boost like so. But there are also a handful of others that don't. Now this next move is a little bit tougher to do just because you need to have precise timing to do it. You need to time this perfectly and very accurately. So right now I'm holding R2 to get to my spot. Once I want to do this move, I let go of everything. I'm holding R2 and then flick the right stick down diagonal left. The reason I flick it down diagonal left is because the ball's in my right hand. If the ball was in my right hand, you would flick the right stick down diagonal right. And then you can speed boost off of it too. That's why I start holding. That's why I start pressing R2 again to shoot. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, you just need to pretty much make sure you have perfect timing. You need to time it accurately. As you can see right here, I did it the other way, so that's the reason I flick it down diagonal right. But like I said, The main thing is the timing. You want to make sure you let go of R2 to make sure that you come to a stop and then do the behind the back. You can't be holding R2 and then flick the right stick down diagonal left or right, since it's just gonna basically not let you do that move. It's not gonna let you do the misdirection behind the back. As you can see right there, I didn't time it right the first time, so it did like a different behind the back. It did a less effective one. To maximize your effectiveness for this move, you need to make sure, I can't stress this enough, you need to make sure you come to a stop and you time it correctly. Now this next move I'm about to show is what I go to. This is my go-to move against switch defense. The most effective way for me to run this move is I call for a screen and then I'll do the move before the big man picks up. So basically, you want to do a momentum crossover. To do that, you hold R2 and then flick the right stick to the opposite ball hand. So the ball's on my right now. I flick it to the left while moving in that direction. And now, as I mentioned before in the behind the back, you want to let go of everything for a split second. You got to time this right. And then be holding R2 and then down diagonal right to the right now, since it's in my left hand. And try not to pay attention too much to the hand cam just now. It's pretty delayed, it's pretty inaccurate in slow motion, but you want to get down the timing of the behind the back. That's pretty much the main thing. You want to learn how to do the momentum crossover first, obviously, but the main thing is the timing on behind the back. That's what makes the move so effective. That second move right there, where you do the misdirection behind the back while setting up, or after setting up your guy with the momentum crossover, because it's gonna be like you have the defender think you're going that way, and then you just do the kill move, do the behind the back the other way, and then have your defender looking mad stupid. This next move is known as a peekaboo or quick stop. It pretty much allows you to set your feet while you're running, so you don't have to shoot a fading shot. But in the next clip I'm going to show you guys, you pretty much want to be holding R2. Just pretty much move how you normally would, and then once you're ready to do the move, you want to let go of R2 and then flick the right stick down. Make sure you're on absolute, but flick the right stick down, and then as you're in that little behind the back motion, that's when you shoot, so you don't shoot a fade. But it's pretty simple. All you have to do is make sure you let go of R2 if you're running, and then flick the right stick down, and then you can shoot in the middle of the animation. So for this next portion of the video, I'm going to briefly go over how to dribble with each size up in the game, since each player has their own size up, and for the different size ups you have different moves you want to go to and different moves you want to use over other ones. So for Hito Turkoglu or Pro 1, you want to use the standing hesitation to either direction, as well as the standing crossover speed boost right there, since you can combo up the best with those. Now the standing hesitation to the ball side, which is this one, that's actually going to be the main difference between Pro 1 and Pro 2. Now with Pro 2, you want to do the standing crossover to the opposite ball hand basically, and the standing hesitation to the opposite ball hand, as well as the between the legs. The between the legs is the main difference. Me personally, I use this move the most out of any other move. I think the between the legs is the most effective rather than the standing crossover and the standing hesitation. But the standing crossover, I feel like it can be equally as fast, but here's the main difference between Pro 1 and Pro 2. The standing hesitation to the same side, it has that animation, but for Pro 2, it has this animation. So you can just see clearly it's a little bit different. I think the Pro 2 standing hesitation is a little bit less effective than the other one. But the next size up I'm going to go over is going to be Pro 3, which is what Chris Paul and Kyrie Irving have. As well as Allen Iverson, he actually has his own size up, but it's pretty much the same thing as this. It's a slight variation to it, but the most effective moves are going to be the between the legs standing still and the standing still hesitation to the opposite ball hand, which is that one right there. As you can see, you can do the standing hesitation and mix in the between the legs and really catch your opponent slipping, catch them off guard, especially if they try to on-ball. If they're on-balling, you pretty much just want to do the between the legs into the peekaboo off the screen. I mean, you're not really going to catch the CPU lacking. You're not going to catch the off-ball CPU really playing bad defense, because there's a lot of more human error to be made. I mean, it's tougher to on-ball, obviously, if you're looking at like how they're dribbling, but for Pro 4, which is what dwade has and a whole bunch of other players have, the main move you want to do is a standing hesitation. As you can see, it's pretty much like the fastest one, I believe, but the standing still crossover, you want to try to steer away from it. I mean, this one is pretty straightforward. You want to do the standing hesitations. Nothing else is pretty effective, because like the standing between the legs and the standing crossovers are pretty like dragged out. They're kind of slow, and like it's pretty easy to react to if you're on-balling it especially. But for Pro 5, which is what Reggie Theus has, the between the legs is pretty good, the behind the back is pretty good. And I mean, the standing hesitation isn't bad either, but I would personally try to use the between the legs and the behind the back the most rather than anything else. This one's pretty straightforward too, so I'm going to move on past this and go to Pro 6, which is actually a personal favorite for many people. For Pro 6, I'm going to use Tony Parker to demonstrate. Now, a couple other players in my team that have Pro 6 include Don Maker and Lance Stevenson. Those are the two only cards I can really think of off the top of my head. If I had to choose, this is probably the rarest Sizeup in my team. But the main moves you want to do are the between the legs and the standing hesitation to the opposite ball hand. The standing hesitation to the same side ball hand is still pretty effective, as you can see. I mean, it creates a little bit of space, especially if they are overplaying one side of the screen. But I mean, this Pro 6 Sizeup is pretty good just because like you can do every single move. But me personally, I like to do the between the legs and the standing hesitation to the opposite ball hand. Like I said, I believe those two are the most effective out of every other move in this Sizeup, but they're all pretty good, honestly. That's why a lot of people believe this is like their favorite Sizeup. A lot of people believe this is the best Sizeup, but me personally, I prefer Pro 2 more. But as you can see, here's an example. I just pretty much do a standing hesitation into the screen and peekaboo off of it. But now that I did that in the last clip, here you can see he's trying to overplay it, and he knows I have a quick trigger, so I do the behind the back the other way. And look how easy that was. Look how much separation it created right there, just because he had to account for the peekaboo and the really quick shot that I do off of the peekaboo. So I mean, this is back-to-back possessions. Let me show you right now. Right after that possession where I did the behind back to basically get a kill move right there, I'm sizing him up right here. I pretty much do the same thing, honestly. I do the standing hesitation crossover, and then right there I could have shot right off of it, but I mean, I'm pretty much just trying to get a better shot. Like I said, I could have shot right off of it. I do the behind the back move again, and this time I actually shoot. I end up whiting, but I mean, that's a good ass shot. Like if I shoot that 10 times, I'll probably make that at least 8 times out of 10 at the bare minimum. But right here, look at the behind the back to the other way. Basically, the behind the back should be your main move. That should be like the counter and like the go-to move, or like the move that you do at the end of every combo, if not most of your combos, just because it creates so much separation. It keeps the defense honest, just because you have to, I mean, it just keeps the defense honest. You can't overplay one side, because if they overplay one side, you just do the behind the back and you have an even more wide open 3. So I mean, right here, here's another clip. Here's with Glen Rice again. I'm doing the standing crossover. He's pretty tired, but when he's tired, you can't do the peekaboo. You want to do that moving hesitation right there to shoot off of it so you don't shoot a fade. Here's with Pro 2, which is what Michael Porter Jr. has. I'm doing it between the legs. Notice how I'm dribbling different with him. Right there, I do the peekaboo, but I mean, he gets a contest just because he doesn't have enough stamina to successfully do the peek. And right here, here's Chris Paul with Pro 3. Here's a quick clip with him. Notice I'm doing the standing hesitation to the same side to set my guy up, and then I do the between the legs. I probably could have shot right there, but I mean, like I said, I'm trying to get a better shot. And notice how like I'm trying to do the peekaboo and shoot right off of it, but if you have low stamina, like if your stamina is low and you've been dribbling for a minute, or I mean, if like the fatigue on your player in general is just low, then you won't be able to do it. That's where the moving hesitation comes into play. And right here, here's dwade with full stamina. As you can see, like there's just more examples on the way. There's another one right there. Now for this next clip, here is an example of me getting a crab dribble, which is basically you dribbling so that your defender is behind you or on your hip, so you get an open shot. Right here, I do a standing hesitation to the opposite ball hand, and then I do the between the legs the other way to get him leaning a little bit. And then I notice that Rudy Gay picks up, so because he's on my left hip, I want to do a standing hesitation back to the left on his hip and then get him behind me. I probably could have shot after the first hesitation, but that's pretty much like the basics of crabbing. Like that's what you normally have to do for a crab dribble. If he's on your left hip, you want to do a standing hesitation back into his left hip so you can get the guy behind you and get an open shot. Here's another clip of me just dribbling with Pro 5 or Reggie Theus. Here's the first clip of Pro 5 actually. As you can see, I'm just trying to set my guy up, do a little quick stop, and then he overplays with his center, so I mean I just throw an easy lob for an easy bucket, wide open, uncontested. Here's another clip. I actually forgot what this clip was, so let me just see what it was. Oh yeah, here's me doing the between the legs up the court, but as you can see, he doesn't have the good moving crossover, so it's not nearly as good. But yeah, I mean, I'm just doing the behind the back, doing all sorts of stuff to get open, create a little bit of separation for the screen, and then a green off the screen. And then now with Tony Parker, Pro 6, first clip with Pro 6, as you can see, I just do quick hesitation to the side and then just shoot right off of it. Since, I mean, most of the time against off ball, they'll be playing the screen so that you can just do one standing hesitation or one move to the side of the screen and then peekaboo right off of it and get open most of the time. It's not until they start playing that, start guarding a hesitation like to one side like pretty good, until you have to do like other moves. Like once they start overplaying it, that's when you can do the other moves. But for the most part, I mean, if you're getting off ball and like you just keep doing a standing hesitation, like as long as you keep it simple, all you have to do is keep it simple to score. You don't have to do anything too crazy. The only times you should really try to change direction is once they start overplaying your side or once they start overplaying a side. But right here, as you can see, here's another example of me crabbing. Notice him overplaying a side, so I do the hesitation to that side that he is already on, since that's how you pretty much secure it. Another clip of me just trying to set my guy up. He's playing pretty good defense. I get boxed right here, but here, this is when I noticed like he's overplaying too much. Like he's to my left way too much. Like he's overplaying the side of the screen already. So I do a standing hesitation to that side, to the left. Right here, I probably could have shot, but I want to do one more hesitation to completely seal him off. Because be careful when you try to crab, because a lot of the times they will get a contest from the side. So that's why I did the extra hesitation to that same side, to ensure that he didn't get a lightly contested shot towards the end of it, because that pretty much happens a lot. So right here, I do the behind the back. I could have went, but I mean, just wanted to throw in that extra move at the end for a little bit of flashy points, for a little bit more flair, and for the three. That's pretty much going to be the end of the video though. Thank you guys for bearing with me. I know it was a pretty long video. If you guys want another part 2 of this dribble tutorial and like more advanced moves and anything like that, just make sure you leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Also, comment if you want any other videos, any other video ideas you have for me, such as what players have the best animations, what players have certain size ups, things of that nature. Anything you guys want to see, leave a comment. Make sure you follow my Twitch. I stream pretty much every day, if not every other day. The link will be in the description. But until the next one, I'm out. Peace.